watching CarTell TV and I'm Amelia. Now before we get stuck into this review, I would love to tell you about our channel partners AusLoans. Do you need a car loan?
With over 40 lenders and low rates, AusLoans is a fast, easy and smart way to get instantly approved for finance.
So, the Kia Cerato. Now Kia has been improving their reputation for about a decade now.
Which means their cars are far better now, and the new Cerato is a nice improvement. And you get it already.
But this simply is not true anymore. I mean, the basic point of it is that new Kia and Hyundai models are no longer just nice surprises within their respective market segments. They are now a solid company that we have really come to expect good things from.
So what do I expect for a Cerato? Well, it sits in a segment that rarely turns heads for innovation or performance. A Cerato should be smart, a sensible buy, and it has some big competition in this field.
You know what I mean. When people are buying cars in this segment, a lot of them will just default to a Corolla without really giving it a lot of second thought.
And yes, the Corolla deserves its reputation. But if you don't research beyond it, you could miss a nice gem.
The Cerato I have here is a Sport Plus in the hatch form. It's the third of 4 trim levels, so it's not the top dog, but it's pretty well spec.
The 2022 facelift makes the Cerato look a lot better. The recognisable Kia grille shape is still here, adapted to fit the small car picture.
Headlights are pretty large with a nice double LED setup.
The whole front looks more aggressive, especially on the GT trim, where everything is more sporty with blacked out bits. The side is pretty much in line with the pre-facelift model.
This trim and the one below it get a new set of wheels, but that's about the most obvious change along the side.
At the back, the sedan version got a nice design improvement that makes it look a lot more modern. Somewhat similar to the general idea of the i30 sedan, but not as awesome.
The rear on the hatch I have here isn't all that different from the pre-facelift model.
There are 2 engines to choose from, the lesser one found on the S, Sport and Sport Plus trims, and it is a 2-litre naturally aspirated unit.
It comes with several new technologies that bridge the gap between performance and efficiency,
such as multi-point injection and dual continuous variable valve timing.
They do help, but the inherent limitations in terms of natural aspiration are obvious.
The engine produces 112 kilowatts and 192 newton meters, the latter from 4,000 revs. The GT comes with a 1.6-litre turbo with 150 kilowatts and 265 newton meters. Not only is the amount of torque higher, but you get to use it almost all the time, as all of it is available from 1,500 to 4,500 revs. The GT also has a sporty dual clutch, as opposed to the automatic that comes with a 2-litre unit. It also has a different suspension setup, bigger wheels and a noticeably larger price, starting from almost $37,000.
As I have the Sport Plus, I have the lesser engine. Now in terms of performance, well, let me put it this way.
If you push it really hard, get it on a road that is just twisty enough, but not too twisty.
If you don't expect anything too unreasonable, you can actually have a bit of fun in the Kia Cerato in this engine type.
For all other purposes and occasions, and that would be 99.9% of them, this engine will not be considered any kind of performance machine.
And yeah, I know that I have the Sport Plus, but look, that's a little bit misleading. If you want performance, then the GT will meet the warm hatch standards.
What you get with this one is enough power for peaceful cruising, enough power for merging on motorways, and enough power for overtaking.
Are you getting the picture? It is sufficient in all of the areas that one should have the Kia Cerato in. And nothing more than that.
As we've become accustomed, we get a special suspension and handling tune for Australia. It is softer and better paired with our roads.
They did keep some of the stiffness in terms of control, but it did tip the scales towards comfort on this one, and look, I've been pretty happy, even on some of Adelaide's more neglected roads.
If you are after a sportier drive, do check out our review of the GT, which we'll be sharing soon as well.
But for most people, this one is perfectly sufficient.
The interior has some upgrades, but the overall feel is not dramatically different.
In a car this compact, a screen like this is definitely noticeable, and you will be happy to know it comes in all but the lowest trim.
It's a 10.25-inch unit that we've seen on many of the models from Kia and Hyundai, and we can't begin to explain how awesome it is that even the second lowest trim in the Cerato gets it.
Very nice, Kia. Thank you.
Thanks to a permissions mess that we've already mentioned a few times, the entry-level 8-inch screen gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, while this big screen gets some wired only.
Yes, silly, but it's not a major issue for a trim that gets so many other perks to compensate.
In terms of cabin amenities, the Cerato has been here more than enough for Kia to know how to dot the I's and cross the T's.
You get a nice, comfortable, reasonably spacious cabin with good driving position, great ergonomics, and all of the standard storage solutions.
You get awesome layered trays in front of the gear lever, which is just such a welcomed bonus in 2021. Cup holders behind it, bottle holders in the doors, armrest bin, and a glove box.
The design is obviously aimed at practicality rather than flair, but it really looks nice and clean, and I like that.
Sure, I'd rather have something more imaginative like the Peugeots we reviewed recently, but I'd also rather have this no-fuss setup than something that chooses quirkiness over use in a compact car. Hell, in any car. The rear gets air vents for all trims.
And I have to point that out because you don't always get that in this class of cars. Now you also get an armrest with cup holders and a single USB port.
In terms of rear space, it's pretty good. 2 adults will be okay, nothing spectacular, but they will definitely survive a longer trip.
I'd say 3 will still be comfy, and kids, well, they're going to have ample space back here.
The boot on the hatch has 428 litres of space, while the sedan gets over 70 litres more.
The opening is good, but the load lip is pretty prominent.
The seats fold 60-40 for even more practicality.
Generally speaking, the Cerato's interior isn't really something to write home about, but it does tick all the main boxes and adds a few more on top of that.
In terms of safety, the 2 lower trims do benefit from an additional safety pack that is available, while this one and the GT above are pretty packed as standard.
Just some of the standard stuff across the range includes
electronic parking brake with auto hold, ABS, electronic stability with traction control, vehicle stability management, hill start assist, front and rear parking sensors, rear view camera with dynamic guidelines, lane keep assist, lane follow assist, driver attention alert with leading vehicle departure, AEB, forward collision warning system with car and pedestrian avoidance, rear occupant alert. 2 top trims add things like electrochromatic rear view mirror, blind spot detection, blind spot collision avoidance detect, rear cross traffic alert, rear cross traffic collision avoidance assist, cyclist avoidance for the forward collision warning system, safe exit warning, and smart key with a push button start.
pricing starts at $25,990 drive away for a Cerato S, and this Sport Plus here will cost you $31,690 drive away.
You can own a Cerato S for repayment as little as $92 a week with Oz loans.
Compared to the pre-facelift model, there really isn't that much difference. But there are some nip and tucks, and they come in great areas, making the new Kia Cerato virtually more polished than before.
It is also worth noting that the GT is a lot different. It's a sportier offering, and Jenny will be reviewing the sedan version this week, so check out that video if you want something a touch sportier.
If you want a bit more fun behind the wheel, then you would definitely go for the GT. However, people go for the lower trims for a more sensible purchase.
With this in mind, if you want a sensible yet nice car that has enough power, enough style, enough perks, and is simply enough for all of your compact car needs, the Sport Plus is definitely the pick of the lesser lot, coming with loads of safety tech and nice comfort perks that definitely justify the price.
The Kia Cerato is a well-rounded, polished car that is more than just a simple form of affordable transportation. Thank you for watching CarTell TV. You know how this goes. Give us a like on all the channels. You've got Facebook, you've got Instagram, you can subscribe on YouTube, but we want to know, what car are you busting to see? Tell us, we'll give it a review. See you next time.